You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. In what turned out to be rather a twisted interview on Fox Soul by Jason Lee, Azriel Clary, one of the R. Kelly accusers sounded a lot like Kelly's new attorney Jennifer Bonjean, who over the past weeks has come out strongly to oppose the RICO charges she believes have been wrongfully imposed on Robert. Azriel Clary, dressed in hot pants with a baggy denim top, and looking all sexy, was asked a number of questions, which she answered seamlessly like the prosecution would have wanted her to. But when it came to the question, do you feel like there are other people who should be in jail, like assistants, security or drivers and the staff who would book hotels and travels for the R&B king? Azriel Clary crossed over to the R. Kelly camp and made sure to rubbish the RICO charges herself. According to Azriel, she went through something toxic only, and only with one person, and that's R. Kelly. She continues to say that it was only one person that put his hands on her, it was only one person that did not allow her to speak with her family and so forth. In her own words she concludes, "I cannot go around blaming this person and that person for what they did not do," stating that this would make her fail to grow as a woman, indicating how stressful it would be to lie all through, and that she doesn't want to be a part of that. Azriel also says that these people who worked with R. Kelly, whom the prosecution is trying to drag into this case, were never pals of R. Kelly that much. Instead she defends them, suggesting R. Kelly mistreated his staff, took advantage of them, fired them unfairly, cheated them terribly and talked about them terribly, which was wrong. By this, she is clearly disregarding government's claim that R. Kelly could have worked closely with these people as partners in crime in the so-called enterprise that never really existed.
I went through something toxic with one person. One person.
Listening to all this coming from a prosecution witness makes one think, why is the government still insisting on an enterprise theory which the prosecution witnesses themselves regard untrue? If someone comes out to say, I am not a victim of a criminal enterprise, why is the government so determined to defend the claim of an enterprise? Is the government representing the victims, or is it representing itself? I wonder. While Bonjean is giving the court so much reason to realize that the RICO charges won't hold, and then this prosecution must be having their intestines turning knowing that their cat has been let out the box. This whole enterprise theory just doesn't have a firm basis, and will only expose prosecution the more on how they are employing prejudicial theories to see R. Kelly get the maximum possible sentence. The good news is that the Supreme Court does not in any way tolerate prejudicial tendencies, and will most likely shut this down as soon as it gets to their table. The challenge with prejudice, apart from being legally unacceptable, it compromises witness credibility, rendering the entire case against the defendant meaningless. The good thing being that this is coming from the affected party this time, not R. Kelly's attorney, or just anybody. Should the court ignore this and continue to sentence R. Kelly with assumption he violated the RICO Act, it will surely be hat off for the government. There is just no way a competent court of law should be ignoring facts stated by the affected party, especially in neutral circumstances like this interview by Fox Soul, a platform that has completely no special interests in the case. Also, fact that Azriel was able to say this after taking a many months break from the September 2021 trial, with ample time to ponder and resolve on what really happened, makes her report sound like the real truth. If this too is ignored, then there is indeed a big problem with our justice system. Since this interview was aired, there has been a lot of criticism by observers who have been following the case, some thinking that random witness interviews should be stopped, probably to prevent spilling of the beans. Prosecution ought to brace itself, as statement variations will likely become the reason they will be brought to account. If someone says something today, and the exact opposite barely 6 months later, it becomes difficult to rule out possible coaching and malicious intent. Time and again, R. Kelly's lawyer, the general public and case analysts have come up in contempt for the RICO charges that they believe were falsely slapped onto R. Kelly, and government has adamantly refused to act accordingly to drop the charges. With such new testimonies coming from what one would call the first layer of witnesses, those that experienced the alleged abuse, I am not sure that government will get away with this level of malice on the R&B king. According to Jada, I just love the way the good Lord created this world in a way that truth has got so much power, and cannot remain hidden for so long. No matter how hard they try to keep us from learning the truth of what they are trying to do to R. Kelly, somehow it eventually finds its level and pops out. My only advice to government would be to give up the prejudice and drop the RICO charges on R. Kelly. Even after reading the trial transcript over and over again, one cannot find any justification for these charges. According to the government, anybody that did anything that helped R. Kelly live his life during the past 2 decades is an accomplice. All simply because it was during this time that Robert is said to have committed the alleged crimes. According to Kimura, I am beginning to get sick and tired of hearing about these so-called RICO charges that were smuggled on R. Kelly's charge sheet with completely no justification. There was no need for this if all they wanted was justice for all. But because this quickly turned into a witch hunt, with the sole aim of keeping Robert behind bars for the rest of his life, that's why we are having this rather discomforting conversation. I want to believe there is only one single interpretation of the law, and anything else deviant should be disregarded completely. I do not expect the government to be attempting to create custom interpretations of the RICO Act, just so as to suit their current need. The interpretations need to be precise and clear-cut as they are, in order to prevent misuse of clauses for selfish reasons. The people mixing things up are the ones confusing the entire act. And these may cause plenty of conflict with this particular act going forward. I was once made to believe that the authorities can be trusted, and more so those operating our justice system. But looking at the way this RICO Act has been twisted to suit personal needs makes me think again about whether anyone can actually be trusted. According to William Bossman, this is a dirty world we all live in where you can hardly trust anybody to remain objective in an emotional case as R. Kelly's. But when the sentiments are over, the truth shall prevail. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.